Hi guys, it's Christine from Greater Health and Fitness. I'm just here another week for another blog. Today I'm talking about how to fit exercise in when you have little kids. So, for those of you that don't know, I have twins that are about 21 months old. So, when I first started exercising, they were maybe about 6 months or so old. They'd spent some time in hospital, so probably had them home for about 3 months or a couple of months. And then I started trying to exercise. So I guess that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, because I know that especially when you become a mum for the first time, it can feel like that, there's no way you could fit that into your life. You just don't have time for anything. You can barely cope with looking after, especially, me with twins, I found I barely could cope looking after them, let alone fitting in time to do things for myself, and making time for exercise. So I just kind of want to talk about that today and, some steps that I sort of found myself taking. So the first thing is to make it a priority. If you want to make time and you want to be able to exercise, you just need to somehow make it a priority. So, I used to spend time when I would finally get the twins to sleep during the day. I would spend time doing housework, and for a while I was like, you know what? I'm just going to spend one of their naps just doing some exercise, just, doing some bodyweight stuff at home, things like that. So I just, eventually started to realize that there's always going to be housework to do. There's always going to be, folding laundry and that sort of stuff. It's always going to be there no matter what. But with that, it's a bit easier to do it, I guess, when they're awake. Like my kitchen is close to where they play, so I could do some dishes while they were playing. But doing exercise is a lot harder when they're around. When they were a bit littler, sometimes I'd get them to sleep in the pram and then work out, when they were sort of going off in the pram. But especially as they are getting older, I can't really get anything much done when they're around. Even if I try, like sometimes I still now do some workouts in my lounge room with them, but they're jumping on me, climbing under me, sitting on me, walking my way. So it's not that easy anymore. So I just found that the whole way through, I just have to make it a priority and make sure, I really make time for it. I really think that, you know, obviously your children are your first priority. Well, that's how I sort of, do it. I make a priority. I make sure I do the things for them. I, don't leave them go. I look after them first. But then once I've looked after them, I make sure I look after myself. Because really, if I'm not healthy, if I'm not feeling good, it's harder for them to be too. If I'm not healthy and happy, then it's much harder. I won't, if I'm not happy, then my kids, the way I act with them, they may not be quite as happy. But, when I am and when I'm healthy, even with eating, like, when I'm making nice healthy meals for myself, I generally do anyway, but it makes me more obviously want to make nice healthy things for them. So, I think that it really sort of has a flow on effect if you are happy, healthy, exercising, eating right, doing the right things. It really has a flow on effect to them. So once you've decided to make it a priority, try and decide what you want to do, make a plan. So, it could be something like, as I've said in previous videos, going for walks, doing some bodyweight exercise, doing some YouTube workouts, something like that. It doesn't have to be going to the gym or attending anything. It can just be simply at your home. But you need to decide what to do, because when you get that time, I found that I used to write down everything I was going to do so that as soon as they went to sleep, I knew exactly what I was going to do. Sometimes sometimes when I used to do workouts downstairs in my garage, I would, while they're awake, get all my equipment set up, everything ready, my mat out, so that literally as soon as they went to sleep, because sometimes I couldn't tell, sometimes my son would only sleep for like half an hour or something. So I pretty much made it so that as soon as they went to sleep, I would go downstairs and do it. So if you have a plan, it's much easier when you do get that rare moment. Like, for example, if for some reason they go to bed early, you might go, oh my gosh, I have an extra half hour, so I'm going to rush down and do something. So if you know what you're going to do, then it's much easier to just get and do it. Because especially with kids, I found with a lot of things, you may think, oh, I really got to get this thing done, and there'll just be an opportunity to just have to go and do it before they, I don't know, crack it. So, I think that really helps. Also, just having a plan so that you can, like I planned, I would walk on certain days around my area. So I would basically get everything ready in the morning. I would get the pram ready, get it out of the car, set it up and everything, so that we could go on our walks much easier. So that's what, I really think having a plan, it doesn't have to be anything amazing. It doesn't have to, be really, really detailed or anything, but even just a plan that says, on Mondays I'm going to walk, on Tuesdays I'm going to try and do this video on YouTube, or I'm going to follow. I think I've shared a few circuits before. Maybe you write down that you're going to do one of those on a Tuesday, Wednesday, have a rest, whatever. Just as long as you have something, it doesn't matter if you don't stick to it, but at least you've got something, and if you try to do your best, eventually it'll be easier to stick to it. The next thing is, once you do start exercising, is to start small. Like, you may only, especially if you're relying on kids sleeping, you may only fit in, a 20-minute workout, or, a small walk. I found that as much as I had really good intentions of going for a nice long walk, I had so many times where I would only get out for half an hour or less, 20 minutes. One day I was just walking down the street 5 minutes away from my house, and my son did a massive vomit all over. They were in the bassinet at that time because they were very little still. Massive vomit over everything. He was completely saturated, and all the inner bit of the bassinet was saturated too. So that day I only got a 10-minute walk because I walked 5 minutes from my home. He vomited, I had to walk 5 minutes back and obviously clean it all up. So, some days, especially when you're starting out, you're not going to get to do some massive workout maybe, but that's fine. Just start with something you can manage. The other thing is, if your fitness level is not as good as it used to be, you may not be able to. Like, I found that after half an hour of walking when I first started, that was kind of enough. That was a big, I was very unfit after I had my twins, and I found that half an hour was generally enough. And, doing a 20-minute sort of YouTube clip was enough for me. That was fine. So, it's just starting small and really thinking of things to fit in around your kids. If your kids don't sleep very well, then maybe you might need to do more things like walking when they're in the pram. I found that put my twins to sleep, so I really liked it. But that might be something that's a bit better, because maybe you can't rely on them just going to sleep and you can do your own thing. So really trying to fit things in, also with timings. Maybe mornings aren't great for you, but maybe in the afternoon your kids are a bit more settled, so you can. I found that first thing in the morning was good. Get up, give them their bottle, go. That's sort of what I would do. So it's just fitting it in however you can throughout your day, and fitting in, with what your kids sort of are doing. The next thing is to try and get a friend to join you. So if you have a friend in a similar situation with little kids, ask them to come out for walks with you. Really great if they live nearby too, if you can just walk to each other's house. Or if you want to do some sort of workout, if you can get together and do that. Like, if you're not quite up to going to classes or anything, or going to a gym yet, getting someone, that will hopefully motivate you to get out can really help. And this isn't just if you have little kids. In general, having someone to make you go, if you wake up in the morning and you have to meet someone somewhere, you're more likely to actually go and do it, because you don't want to let that person down. Whereas if it's just you, if you've just planned to go out for a walk with your kids, you might in the morning go, oh, it's too hard, I'm just going to stay home. But if you've got someone who's going to meet you at the park up the road, and then you're going to, walk around the park a few times or something, you're more likely to get up and do it. So if you can, enlist a friend to help you. Otherwise, especially as a new mum on Facebook groups, there seem to be a lot of posts of people that want to start a walking group, or want someone, another first-time mum with young kids to go walking with, or even exercise with. There seems to be a lot, I found, which is really nice, of groups and things like that you can join. So, there may be other people in your area that are in a similar situation, would love someone to go walking with. So don't be afraid to, post and ask, or look on, different pages, do a search. There's probably people that have already asked if there's anyone interested in walking or exercise or something. So, if you don't have someone, there's definitely ways to find people that might be interested to walk with you or to exercise with you. So, hopefully, you can find someone and that might help. The last thing is just to really relax and don't worry. As much as you can plan, as much as you can get a friend, that might want to walk with you, especially with kids, things don't always go to plan. And that's okay. That's the way it is. Just like with everything that you may try to do or plan to do, you may not actually get to do it because kids always seem to have a way of sometimes wrecking even the best plans. So don't be hard on yourself. Don't worry. All you can do is just know that tomorrow will hopefully be a better day. If you plan to exercise or walk today you didn't get to, that's fine. Don't worry about today. Well, it's in the morning, so you've still got time. But if you really can't get to it, tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. You can always do it then. Don't stress. Don't worry yourself. I, as much as I prioritise my own workouts and fitting in, time to meal prep and stuff, the kids are always come first. If, at times when they get sick, I relax on that sort of thing and I just focus on them until they're better and then I start again. So, don't worry, things don't always go to plan, but you can just do your best and try and follow the plan as much as you can. So that's pretty much all for today for my blog on just some of what's worked for me and some of my suggestions on exercising with little kids. There's, definitely more to this. Like there's more things you can do. There is exercise classes where you can bring them. You could always look into that too. But this is sort of what I did. So, hopefully that, helped you a little bit, maybe given you some ideas or just sort of thought about things in a different way. So that's all for today. If you have any suggestions, anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Otherwise, I'll have something different for next week. So have a good weekend, and if you're training with me, I'll see you soon. Bye.